2-Minute Python, for loops. A for loop is an iteration command, a command that's used to make a section of code repeat. With a for loop, the computer is able to determine the number of times the repetition is to happen at runtime. For example, you might want to loop through a string, and the program would work out how many characters were in it at the start of the loop. It could also be used to look at each element in a list, to look at each line of a file, or to work through a sequence of numbers. A for loop always uses the for and in keywords and needs two things to be supplied by the programmer. Firstly, the thing to be worked through, often described as iterated, and secondly, each iteration of the loop the computer will move on to the next item in the sequence, and this value will be stored in the loop variable. Finally, you need a colon to indicate that the code to be repeated will follow. The code to be repeated must be indented. Here's an example where you can see that the for loop and the code that is to be repeated is indented. So, here's an example of how a for loop iterates through a string and prints each character in turn. The string contains the word Python, as in stored in the variable language. You can see that when the loop begins, the loop variable character is assigned the first character from the string language, and then each time through the loop, the value of the loop variable is changed to the next character in the string. Here are some examples. If we iterate a string, the loop variable gets the next character. Iterating a list means the loop variable gets the next item in the list, which might be another list. Working through a file will assign the loop variable the content of the next line of the file, as a string. We can also use functions such as range to return a sequence of numbers that can be worked through. It's perfectly acceptable, and quite normal, to have nested loops, loops inside loops. Thanks for watching this 2-Minute Python video. I hope you found it useful. Please comment on and like this video, and be sure to watch the other videos in the series.